I chose American Romanticism, and throughout class we looked at two American Romanticism poems. The first one was I Sit and Look Out by Walt Whitman, and the second one is Psalm of Life by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. I concluded that the message of I Sit and Look Out is human cruelty and the tendency to avoid suffering. First quote I have to support that is, I hear secret convulsive sobs from young men at anguish with themselves, remorseful after deeds done. There are men crying because they feel bad about what they've done. They know it's cruel, and they feel bad about it. The second quote is, see, hear, and am silent. This goes with the tendency to avoid suffering. The whole poem is about human cruelty and just bad things that humanity does. And Whitman says he sees it, he hears it, but he's silent. He doesn't do anything to act against it or to help the problems. He avoids suffering. He avoids any kind of contact with it. In the second poem, Psalm of Life, I concluded that the theme or message was optimism about life. It's kind of about having a hopeful future. First quote I have to support that is, let the dead past bury its dead. He's saying what happened in the past is gone. It's the past. We need to focus on the present so we can move forward in the future. The second quote is, learn to labor and to wait. He's saying that if we learn to work and we wait on good things to happen, they will come in the future. It's hope for a greater good. And for my nature picture, I wrote a poem called Is That Rain? I've noticed the way uncertain earthworms joyfully rise when they feel the calming sensation of raindrops above their heads. For a creature so unadvanced, they act just like humans do. They become vulnerable when something makes them happy. I've noticed that when it rains and the sky is dark and gray, I feel gloomy. However, I've grown to adore that feeling. A rainy Sunday forces you into yourself. I've noticed as society progresses technologically, our social status maintains a similar structure to the water process. As rain is formed by a cyclical cycle, so is our social and moral understanding. We try to resolve the same problems we've had before. I've noticed that I cannot find the difference between a tear or a raindrop anymore. Yet again, I ask myself, is that rain or am I crying again? Final part of the American Romanticism project is Henry David Thoreau's Civil Disobedience. I concluded that the theme was prioritization of one's morality over the law. Thoreau argues that if a government law is unjust and against your morality, we should break it. We can protest it non-violently, but we should not go about it with violence, is what he's trying to say. We can non-violently protest. 3 examples to support that are, a minority is powerless while it conforms to the majority. If majority rules in government, and if the minority, the people that stay true to their morality, conform to the rest of the government, it defeats the entire purpose. So if you want to keep power, stay true to yourself. Second quote is, a lawyer's truth is not truth. It is consistency or consistent expediency. Lawyers / government, same thing. A lawyer's truth is not truth. If it's morally true and it seems right, it's irrelevant. Lawyers care about facts. Government cares about facts. Morality is important to us, not to lawyers. We need to stay true to morality. The last quote is kind of large. If the injustice is part of the necessary friction of the machine of the government, let it go. Perchance it will wear smooth. Certainly the machine will wear out. But if it is of such a nature that it requires you to be the agent of injustice to another, then I say break the law. Let your life be a counter-friction to stop the machine. What I have to do is to see at any rate that I do not lend myself to the wrong which I condemn. He's saying that if a law is unjust against our morality, we should not follow it. If we're going to harm others with it, we should not follow it. We can control the government and try to slow that. And for the connection to a movie or TV series, I chose Suits. Mike Ross fights against the law or the government to get into the bar. Ross always wanted to be a lawyer because his mom and dad died in a car wreck, and his lawyer kind of screwed him over. So he's been practicing law unlawfully for the good reason. He wants to help people, and he uses his morality to argue that to the bar, and he ends up getting into the bar and becoming a lawyer. And the song title and 2 lyrics were "Blowin' in the Wind" by Bob Dylan. The first lyric is, "Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned?" And the second lyric is, "Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died?" He's saying that, like, when will the government realize that war is dumb and it should be banned? And the second quote is, "How many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died?" Like, where do we draw the line with the government is what he's trying to say. Bob Dylan was all about government protest. Sorry.